Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm doing a for hire deck profile, and no, before you ask, you're not going to have to pay me for this one, we have another beneficiary. But this deck is a really fun deck that we're going to be playing around with today. This basically runs like Yusenju's a little bit, where you normal summon one, get an effect, normal summon another one, and then you just dump your hand, get all sorts of monsters on the field, and then OTK your opponent extremely quickly. This deck is an awesome deck that just keeps getting support, with Falgo coming out in Soul Fusion, and then we just got the Flow Messenger for hire recently in, I believe it was Dark Neostorm. So we're going to be getting more support for this deck, I think. I don't think they're going to stop with this deck. I think it's amazing. I think it's a lot of fun. And it just needs like one or two more cards to be really meta. But without further ado, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad. And let's get straight on into this one. So this deck is super, super fun. It is like Furries, the deck, though, I have to say. But I really love the artwork of them. So we're going to be playing 3 copies of the Raphael Champion for hire. Let me get that to focus for you guys. And basically, this is the big boss of the deck besides Falgo. But if this card is special summon, you can activate cards off the top of your deck equal to the number of monster, equal to the number of for hire you control. With different names, and except for another copy, except for himself. And if you do, you get to add one of those cards from your deck to your hand, shuffle the rest back in your deck. And when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can discard one for hire card, and then negate the activation. And if you do, destroy it, which is pretty cool. You just negate the activation, don't destroy it. But it's still an amazing effect on a boss monster. It has negation on him. He excavates and adds literally any card from your deck to your hand, which is an amazing effect, and I really like that. Then I only play 1 copy of Dinah. I feel like Dinah is one of in this deck. He's the hero for hire. If you special summon this card, you banish cards from your opponent's graveyard up to the number of monsters for hire you control with different names, which is kind of cool. I like that. It's neat because you get to banish cards that might be important to your opponent. If you're going up against something like Phantom Knights or Burning Abyss or something like that, you can banish the cards that you think they might need to bring back. If they're on a extra, or if they're on a deck that has like a lot of graveyard synergy. Then I play 1 Wiz Sage for hire. I love the name. Basically, this is the more defensive one. If you special summon this card, you gain 500 life points for each for hire monster you control with a different name, except Wiz for hire. And then when your opponent activates a spell or trap or quick effect, you can discard a card for hire and negate the activation if you destroy it. That's why I play this one as a 1-of, because if you get Raphael and Wiz on the field at the same time, you can negate up to 2 cards on the field, which is really cool to be able to do. Then I do something that not a lot of people do. I play 3 copies of Bravo. I think Bravo is an amazing card because it gives you that extra damage by boosting all of your for hire monsters by 500, which is pretty cool. And then this is the effect that all the for hire monsters at a level 4 or lower share. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 for hire monster from your hand, except another copy of himself. And if a for hire monster is special summoned to your field while you control this monster, you can gain the additional effect, which is really cool that you have to special summon one to get the effect. They have to have backup in order to get their abilities. So this one just lets you gain 500 attack for each one of your for hires. Like, all your for hires gain 500 attack, which is really cool. Then we play 3 copies of Seal Strategist for hire. This one's particular ability, if you control another for hire monster special summon, you can target one of your for hire monsters in your graveyard and then add it back to your hand, which is really cool to be able to add your for hires back and be able to use them again. You get to hire them back, which is pretty cool. I hope they left their resumes. So then we play 3 copies of Beat. I know that joke was so bad. That was so bad. After I said it, I was like, oh my god. So anyways, give me a like for that one. I'm trying my best here. So we play 3 copies of Beat Bladesman for hire. This one's basically the Stratos of the deck. During your main phase, you get to special summon a for hire monster from your hand, and it has the ability that if you do, you get to add a for hire monster from your deck to your hand, which usually is going to be Raphael if you don't already have him, because you want to get him as quickly as possible. Then for the 2-ofs, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Helmer. I bumped Helmer down to 2. I feel like 2 is still needed. You basically get to discard a card and then draw a card if you special summon it for hire while this is on the field, but you can use it for link material, which is good just to kind of fix your hands. 2 copies of Recon. Recon pops set cards, and then Donpa pops face-up cards, which is really cool. You can target a face-up card on the field and destroy it, which is cool. I like that ability that you can use them in unison to pop face-ups and face-downs. Then I play 3 copies of the new Flow Messenger for Hire. Basically what you do with this one is if it's special summon, you get to target a monster for hire in your graveyard and special summon in defense position, but place it on the bottom of the deck if it leaves the field, which is not that big of a deal, but I really like her as a 3-of. I really think she's a good 3-of. I've been playtesting this deck a lot, and it's a lot of fun to play her at 3 because she's just basically Monster Reborn, and it makes summoning Falgo extremely easy in the deck because you just need 3 different monsters with different types, and she's a wing beast, and none of the other ones are wing beasts because we dropped out the level 5 wing beast. I forget her name, but we dropped her out, the sniper, and I just feel like this is an awesome card to play at. And then for the hand traps, well, that's it for the for hire monsters. I'll show you the hand traps after I move these. So that's it for the for hire monsters. Let's get into the hand traps and then the spells. So for the hand traps, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom and 2 copies of Effect Veiler. I feel like this is, you know, my like perfect package of hand traps. I feel like 2 Effect Veilers is perfect and 3 Ash Blossoms is perfect. If you want to play Phantasme, you can play Phantasme. I'm not going to pay $110. I'm not going to ask you guys to pay $110 for Phantasme. I feel like Ash Blossom and Effect Veiler are the most affordable hand traps and is the best way to go right now if you want to play competitively. I don't think you need Phantasme. It's a good card, but it just fixes broken hands. That's all it really does. But that's it for the hand traps. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Call by the Grave because we don't want to get hand trapped. 1 copy of Monster Reborn because you can bring back the for hires that you need when you need them, so you can hire them back. Then 1 copy of Reinforcements of the Army. Well, they pretty much are an army with the amount of them that we play in the deck. But basically, this is the only thing that searches Beat. This basically lets you play 4 copies of Beat, which is the searcher of the deck, which is important. 2 copies of Instant Fusion. You need the 2 Instant Fusions because they allow you to just get out like Thousand-Eyes Restrict, your Millennium-Eyes Restrict. If you think your opponent's going to hand trap you and you want to get a good field off on your first turn, you go for Millennium-Eyes. If you feel like you can bait your opponent out, you go for Thousand-Eyes. And then after you go for Thousand-Eyes, you take one of their monsters, and then you can use Thousand-Eyes as a link material to special summon out Falgo, which is he's a different type. We don't, I believe, have a spellcaster. I think Seal might be. No, he's a Beast Warrior. Wiz is the only spellcaster of them, so that's not that big of a deal to have him as spellcaster type, because you're just trying to get 3 different types. Then we play 3 copies of Mayhem for Hire, which is basically Monster Reborn, but you get to target a for hire monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position, so you can't special summon back Falgo, but you can special summon all the other ones. Then I play 2 copies of Mind Control. I feel like I want to play this at 3. If you want to, drop the Rhoda and play another one of these, because what you can do is take your opponent's monster and then it counts as a different type as one of your monsters. Pick the one that has the different type. Then use it as a link material for Falgo, because this is basically Falgo Turbo. That's what you're trying to do, is get him out on the field as quickly as possible. So if you want to play a 3rd copy of this, I keep wanting to have a 3rd copy of this because it's really easy to summon out Falgo with this. You just basically drop the Rhoda for another one of these if you want to. Or if you want to play another Instant Fusion because you feel like you need it, drop the Rhoda for it if you want to go that route. But that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Falgo. I never see myself summoning 3 of these. It already takes 3 monsters to summon this, which is fine, but I just don't ever see myself summoning more than that. But it cannot be used as link material. That's fine. He's going to stay on the field. And if this card is link summoned, you can special summon 1 for hire monster with a different name from the 3, or different type, from the 3 that you used for this card's link summon, and then from your deck in defense position. And if this card, if a card your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can draw a card. And if you control 3 or more for hire monsters with different names, you draw 2 additional cards. So he can let you draw up to 3 cards off of popping 1 card, which Donpa and Recon already do, which is amazing. You basically do that in the main phase 1, draw 3, draw what you need, and then go from there. Which, I mean, you can just make an entire big board of your for hire monsters just by using that. Then I play one copy of Crusadia Mech Knight Avram. I feel like, again, I say this a lot in my deck profiles, I feel like people are sleeping on this card. It's $15 right now, which is crazy to me that this card is like Boral Sword, but it's 15 bucks. Like, you could replace Boral Sword in the majority of your decks with this card, and it would still work. Then we play one copy of Boral Load and Boral Sword. I play this because I have a proxy of it, and it's going to get reprinted in the Battles of Legends Heroes Revenge, I think. But we're going to get that card reprinted soon, and I'm really excited for that. I'm going to have so many of those. One copy of Topologic Trispania. I feel like this card's a really good card to have in here because you don't play that much back row. You don't play any back row, actually, that you're going to set besides Mayhem for hire. So this card's a really good card to play in the deck because if you just special summon a monster to a zone this card points to, it just Harpies, Feather Dusters, or Heavy Storms the whole field, and then inflicts 500 damage to your opponent for each one of their banished cards by this effect. You're not going to have any, but they're going to have maybe a couple of them. So it just shuts down certain decks that you might want to. One copy of Unicorn just to bounce monsters. One copy of Phoenix to pop spells and traps. Cerberus to pop monsters. These work really well along with Falgo as well, especially with the arrows. They work really well. And then one copy of Beat Cop just for the arrows to point down. You can use it. It's one of those. It's there if you need it. If you don't use it. One copy of Linkuriboh. Linkuriboh is good in here because you can make it with Flow, or you can make it with Thousand Eyes or Millennium Eyes. So it's just an overall great card. One copy of Evilsworn Exciton Knight. I make this every so often if I'm in the losing state, which happens very rarely, but it's one of those things that if you need it, it's there. One copy of Breaksword. This is another card that combos really well with Falgo. Like if they stop, for instance, one of your pops, and you can go for a 3, which is pretty easy with double Helmer and triple Beat. You can make like Beat and a Helmer to make Breaksword, and then pop a card in your opponent's side of the field, and then trigger the Falgo effect, which is really cool. Then I play one copy of Millennium Eyes and one copy of Thousand Eyes because these are my targets for instant fusion. So that's it for the deck. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of this deck down in the comments down below. It's a really, really fun deck. It's just a really awesome deck to be able to play. It's not super budget because of the beats being, I don't even know how much beats are running now, like 15s, something like that. When I got them, they were like 20s, but I think they're like 15s because they haven't been reprinted, but they might be reprinted in the Megatins because of the, they're putting Dark Saviors in the Megatins. So they'll probably be in there. So be on the lookout for that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys. Tell me what you think of this deck down in the comments down below. I'm really excited to show you guys this deck. Hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.